Hey guys, Michael from Copper vs Glass, back with another how to use your Android device. Now obviously in the first episode of this series we've done the initial setup process, going from unboxing the device to the initial start screen, signing into your Google account, and just general kind of maintenance of the Wi-Fi and things like that when setting up the device. What I'm going to do now is give you guys a brief overview of the navigation side of Android. Now obviously most Android devices are pretty similar. Obviously you do get different skins which we'll go into in a later video, but in general it's obviously all on the touchscreen, and first off you're going to have a usual slide to unlock feature. Now the Nexus 5 here, you just slide to unlock the phone and then it's going to do so. Now you also do get some shortcuts on certain phones as well. Now with the Galaxy line of phones from Samsung, you do get other things like quick access to apps and things like that, which unfortunately you don't get on a Nexus device unless you do routing and things like that. What you do have though is quick access to the camera. So you can see here that if I slide across, it's then going to open up the camera application and you're ready to then take a photo straight away. So again, very quick, very simple and very easy to do. One other thing from the home screen you can do, and again this is only Nexus specific, is go to Google Now. So you can see here there's an arrow down the bottom. If you just hold on that arrow, you can see here that it brings up Google Now, or you can do a very quick swipe up gesture to get to Google Now as well. Now we'll get into that in a later video in terms of the functionality of Google Now, but in the meantime what you're going to be granted with when you unlock your phone is your home screen. Now you can see here that I do have a very minimal home screen. This is how the home screen is basically when you get the device. I've added a couple of my own apps like WhatsApp and things like that, but overall it's very minimal, and I'm going to show you why in just a second. I'm going to be showing you guys how to apply widgets and things like that, and just in general where to find certain things. Now you can see here that on my phone I've got my most used applications on my screen here, and I've also got here a folder which has got all of my Google applications in it. Now basically what a folder is a easy way to store lots of things on your home screen without it cluttering up the home screen. So you can see here that in this folder I've actually got about 10 applications or so, but obviously when you then make the folder smaller it's the size of one. Now the way that you make a folder is basically just drag and drop items onto each other. So what I'm going to be doing for you guys real quick is just bringing Chrome up here, and the way that you move around the applications is just by tapping and holding, and then you can literally just move them around. Now to make a folder, all you can do is drag one application onto another. So if I just take the Google Play Store, drag it onto Chrome and let go, you've then got your folder. Now automatically puts things in alphabetical order, and if you see here it says unnamed folder, if I was to just type on that, you can then add a name to the folder. So very quick and very simple to do. Now if I didn't want to have one of these applications in here for whatever reason, for instance the Play Store, I just tap and hold, drag it back onto the home screen, it then separates the apps. If I don't want it on my home screen at all, tap and hold, take it to the top where it says remove, and it's basically gone. Now it's not gone from the application, from the phone, it's just gone from the home screen. Now you can see here that there's a 6-dot kind of circular button here down in the center. If you tap on that, it's actually going to take you to your app drawer. So this is where all your applications are going to be stored on your Android device. Now most phones do have an app drawer. I think there's only a couple of Android phones that keep them all on the home screen, but they're kind of lower end budget phones from companies like Blue and things like that. So you can see that you've got all your applications in here, and they're very quick, very simple to get to. All you need to do is just tap on the application and it will launch. Now if you press the home button, it's going to take you straight back to home. So really the main navigation features that you want to be thinking about is your home screen, the app tray, and obviously then what you're going to be looking at then is widgets. Now I'm just going to get rid of this entire folder because I want to use my whole home screen to give you guys an example. Now what you want to be doing with widgets on a Nexus device is you tap and hold on the screen, and it's going to give you this little kind of menu bar down the bottom and make your screen a little bit smaller up the top here. Now on other phones it is going to be different, but just in general if you just tap and hold on the screen, that's usually the way that you're going to apply a widget. Now from a Nexus phone you can actually choose from wallpapers, widgets, and also quick access to the settings. Now what we're going to be doing is just clicking on widgets. Now what it's then going to do is bring you up all of your widgets that you can apply to your home screen. Now basically a widget is basically a way of getting information from an app without having to open the actual application itself. That's a very quick, very convenient way to use the phone. I myself am not a huge fan of widgets. I mean they do give information, but if you really want the best info from an application, you're going to have to click on it anyway. So in my personal use, I only use the applications, not necessarily widgets, apart from a couple like Dash Clock, which I'm just going to show you now. So if we just go across here to my widget tray, You can see that I've got a widget called Dash Clock. Now basically Dash Clock is a way to get lots of information and notifications on your screen and on your lock screen, and it looks very, very nice. Now you can see here that it does actually have a grid size on each of these apps. Now you can see here that this is 4:2. Now basically what that means is it's only going to fill about half of the screen, because the grid size on a Nexus 5 I think is either 4:5 or 4:4. On other phones with either bigger or smaller screens then that may differ. If you just hold on the application, you're then given the option to drag it to the home screen. Now you can initially drag it into 3 separate places, you can see here. So if I just drag and drop, with Dash Clock it's going to give me some options for the actual widget itself, which I'm just going to come out of so you guys can just see the widget. Now you can see here that the widget does look very small. If I tap and hold on the widget, it's going to give me the option to resize that widget. Now with this you can basically drag the widget down to get some more information, or drag it across to the side to make it a bit smaller. Certain widgets, for instance like Dash Clock, you can see here because it is 4:2, it means you can only go up and down, because the 4 stands for along the top and the 2 stands for down the side here. So you can never make it go any smaller unless you're using a different launcher. So you can see here that it's going to be the full length of the screen. Now some applications this is good, in other instances it's not so great. So with Dash Clock, if I bring this up to the top here, you can see now that it actually takes up quite a lot of room for very minimal information. So with Dash Clock I would definitely recommend having the full application down so you can see everything on here. So you can see from this one widget that you do get a lot of information, and in terms of the functionality it's very good. You don't have to go into any of these apps. I can see that my battery is now on 93%. It tells me how long I've got left, tells me my available storage on the phone, sunset, things like this. So you can get widgets for virtually anything, and again if you just tap and hold on the widget, drag it up to remove, it will remove that from your screen. With a Nexus device, you are going to get something a little bit different. You're going to get what's called Google Now. Now this is available on other Android devices, but the Nexus 5 has a specific Google Now phrase that basically allows you to use the functionality of Google Now with your voice. Now you simply do this by saying, "Okay Google, how tall is the Empire State Building?" Now you can see what it's going to do now is give me that information. I didn't have to touch the phone at all. If my phone was on loud, you would hear the information. So again, Google Now is a very, very handy thing to use. And like I say, in terms of different functionalities, it's definitely one of the better things on Android. Now onto the navigation bar, or just up here the notification bar. Now basically what this information is it gives you certain things in terms of notifications on your phone regarding apps, or just in general any information that you want to see. Now with the navigation bar, all you need to do is basically just slide down on the notification tray like so, and you're going to be granted with your notifications. So you can see here that Barry has recently liked one of my photos on Instagram, and you can slide these notifications away, or you can tap on them to open them, and it will take you straight to that notification. Now on a Nexus device and also some Samsung Galaxy devices, you can also get to your quick toggles. Now basically what these are is a way to access information really quickly on the fly. So if I want to access my brightness without going into the settings, the way that I would do that is slide down with one finger, click on the quick toggles, or on the Nexus, slide down with 2 fingers to get there straight away. You can then click on the brightness and you can then adjust the slider as you please. So basically guys, that's the main navigation of Android. It is mainly about taps and swipes and things like that. You can see here that you tap, you swipe, go into an application, more swiping and things like that. So the navigation is very, very simple. Also, the navigation on something like iOS is maybe even a bit more simpler, and on something like a Galaxy S device, sometimes the TouchWiz interface kind of makes it a little bit more complicated to get exactly what you need out of it. So overall, the functionality is very simple, very easy to use, and the main things to think about obviously are your home screen, your app drawer, and also your notification tray. Everything else you guys can have a look at and try out for yourselves, but they are the main things that you need to be concerned with when using your Android device. That's going to do it for this episode of how to use your Android device, and this episode has been regarding navigation. Do leave a comment down below on a future video if you've got anything specific you want me to go over. If you did enjoy this video, or just in general if this video did help you, then do leave a like down below. If you guys have got any questions about Android, hit me up on Twitter at CopperVersusGlass or at Cab from 1989 for my personal Twitter account. I'm Michael from Copper vs Glass, and I'll catch you guys in the next video on how to use Android.